Yo, what up, you guys? It's your boy Omaone, and today we're doing a reaction video to a video that Logan Paul made about 2 days ago. And this video is about, well, the title of the video is about Suicide Be Here Tomorrow. So from the title, I can tell that this is probably a suicide prevention video. And it's crazy that this is the first video that Logan Paul uploaded in about 3 weeks hiatus. He hasn't uploaded in a long time. I mean, let's see what happens. Let's see if he changed. Let's see what the video will, tell us about everything. And let's just go. Let's just find out. About 800,000 people worldwide die from suicide every year.
Minutes.
800,000, you guys.
Crying like a
800,000. That's a lot.
Bikers, joggers, tourists, runners.
And it's preventable.
Police officers searching for suicidal people went by me twice. I'm standing at the ledge, leaning over the rail with tears flowing down to the water.
See? People
and I thought
passed
to myself,
him.
absolutely nobody cares. And then the voice in my head said, "Jump now," and I did.
See,
And the
people
millisecond
passed
that
by
my
him.
hands cleared
That's
the
why.
rail, my legs flew over it. It was an instant regret.
In his
The
mind,
depression was wiped from my mind.
stated that no one cared about
All
him.
I wanted to do was live, and I thought it's too late.
Kevin Hines was 19 when he jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge.
19. That is
He
a
is one
very
of the
young
many
age.
incredible people
19.
that I've been grateful to meet over the past 3 weeks as I aim to further understand the complexities surrounding suicide. And I know I've made mistakes. I know I've let people down. But what happens when you're given an opportunity to help make a difference in the world?
The backlash against the social media star.
Very popular guy called
Logan Paul is in
Man,
some
he was
hot
all
water.
over
An
internet.
utter insensitive idiot.
Taking a break from
Ah,
daily
damn.
Even he says
Backlash,
his latest
everything.
content was his biggest
I
mistake.
want to apologize to the victim
It was his biggest
and
mistake.
his family.
Should have done it.
It's time to learn from the past as I get better and grow as a human being. I'm here to have a hard conversation so that those who are suffering can have easier ones.
So I've never been so humbled in my life by a single event.
Were you kind of shocked by it?
I was shocked to discover just how big this is.
You've never known anybody that killed themselves?
No one. And that was part of the problem. It's just my ignorance on the subject.
But in Ohio, where you come from,
Ignorance
it's
of the
second
subject.
leading cause of death.
And I know while I'm not able to solve the problem by myself, I want to be a part of the solution.
And that solution began across the country in New York City.
Now he went everywhere. That's crazy. He actually
We
took the
sat down with
time.
Dr. John Draper, Director
Matured
of the National
himself.
Suicide Prevention Lifeline.
We have to change the conversation publicly from just focusing on suicide and how something bad is happening and say, well, what do we do about it? Help people understand that the first thing they need to do is reach out and talk to somebody when they're feeling in despair. Because you're not alone with it anymore. They've done studies with
You're never
people
alone, you guys.
who are experiencing any kind of pain, including hanging off a cliff. You can hold on a lot longer if somebody is right there with you.
I think as a society, as human beings, we just have to be more compassionate. And that includes me too. That's something I'm learning along this journey. And something else that Dr. Draper told me were the 5 steps that anyone can take to help prevent suicide. Step 1 is simply just ask. Ask yourself, ask others, are you thinking about suicide? And I know that sounds like a daunting question, but literally that question can save lives. And step 2, accordingly, would be just to listen. Be present. Don't make any judgments, and then step 3 would be there for them, even after you've
Always
already
be
asked,
there. That's like I think that was
dependability is
the
key.
most
Step
important.
4 is then help them connect, whether it's with a friend, a family member,
Communication,
other
you guys,
suicide
just
hotline, therapists,
communication.
But help them reach out to someone so they don't have to deal with this alone. Lastly, step 5 is just check in on them, show them that you care, call them up, say, hey, I want to make sure you're okay. Can I check in with you over the next few
Changes
days?
happen, so always give
So
them a
one
check.
of the things that is so important
Check
about
on them.
reducing stigma is getting stories out there about people positively coping with suicide.
Do you guys know anyone I could talk to with the lived experience of suicide?
Absolutely. We have quite a number of people that we could refer over to. Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
And that's how we got introduced to Kevin Hines. 17 years ago, Kevin jumped off of the Golden Gate Bridge and survived.
It's crazy.
These are individuals whose stories, when people hear them, they say, you know, maybe I can get through.
He has to do something. That's
As
why he didn't
opposed to
die.
hearing stories when people have
basically
and those are
he has a
unfortunately those are
mission
stories
to
that we've
complete.
heard before. Now we're
And
hearing
this, and
more
look,
and more stories
now
of
he's
people
one of
being
like
more open about it.
a
As I was
representative
saying
of
before,
the
Logan, for
suicide.
every one person
He's
that
a
dies by
spokesperson.
suicide,
He's a
there's
role model.
287 other people that think seriously about it but don't. Those are stories, again, that have not been told. If we told those stories of people who got through it as opposed to one who didn't, imagine what kind of influence that would have on people's behavior.
From bullies.
When I found out that 1 in 6 high school kids seriously think about suicide, that's stunning.
Yeah.
This is such a common problem.
Logan, all I
Yeah,
wanted
especially in high school.
was for one person to look me in my eyes and say, hey kid, are you okay? I am so grateful to be alive. And I'm grateful today for every millisecond I get to breathe. Because it was almost all ripped from me by me.
I feel
What's one
like
thing you would have
goosebumps.
said to your younger self? To the Kevin who was 19, sitting on the bus, if you were next to you, and instead of the guy
High
who
school is the
pointed and
biggest
laughed,
part
what would you say?
when it comes to these types of, you know,
I would just
stigmas,
put my hand on his
disparities. Yeah, bro.
I would just put my hand on my shoulder and I would just say,
Because a lot of things change in high school.
I'm here for you. I got you.
You just need one person. One
We
person
need to
could
be a
change your life.
society that comes together for every person in the community that's going through hell. And in order to do that, every person that's going through hell, whatever hell, has to be honest about their pain. And if they're going to be honest about their pain, we are going to collectively answer the call and be there for that individual. Because if you don't see beauty in the next person you meet, you're not looking hard enough.
It's a very good statement.
You're incredible, dude. This is an honor for me.
It's an honor for me too, brother.
From this point on, I want to make an effort to contribute and immerse myself in the conversation, so I'm pledging to donate $1 million to various suicide prevention organizations, with the first $250,000 going immediately to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline so they can increase their capacity to help those in need.
For anyone watching,
It's
I
crazy,
want you
$1
to
million.
know you are not alone. And most of the time, crisis passes. So if you or anyone you know feels alone or trapped, I encourage anyone to call or even text the suicide or crisis hotline. Both of those numbers are below, and although this is a tough conversation, it's important because things can and will get better. It's time to start a new chapter in my life as I continue to educate both myself and others on suicide. I'm humbled and thankful to say, this is just the beginning.
Damn, that was crazy. Like, I got a little bit of goosebumps, you guys, but yet I have some mixed feelings. To me, personally, I feel like this video is kind of ironic, is because the last video that he uploaded was about suicide, and he made a big mistake about it, and then out of nowhere, he made a video about suicide prevention. So I don't know if this was, you know, something he wanted to do, or he wants to like tell everybody that he's changed. I'm not really sure what to say, but it's kind of ironic for me to see this video. But yet, I mean, he did a really good job. He actually understands why suicide is not, you know, meant to be, you know, make fun of or even laughed at. Like I said, you guys, communication is one of the most important. So if you know anybody that, you know, that feel depressed or I feel like, you know, they don't belong in this earth or world, make sure you give them just a hug and tell them, you know, I'm here for you and stuff like that. You also have to assess the problem as a public health major. You need to assess the problem, knowing the problem. You have to communicate, because communication is one of the most important aspect or element when it comes to suicide prevention, because like the person said, all he needed was one person to tap on his back and say, what's wrong? And I hope you guys like the video, and your boy, Omaone is out.